It's very true. I mean, there is a second part to that as well about the daughter who's like a radar for anything at all. But yeah, it's interesting because as they get older, there's more to talk about with family. It's interesting. It's like in normal social life, you know, talking about little kids. Nobody cares. Nobody cares
but
about it.
It's all the same, isn't it?
It's cute, it's sweet, like whatever. When they get a little bit older and there's genuine issues there, that's, well, now we're all interested. Like, yeah, so it's compelling.
But I mean, Al spoke about it, your last tour, talking about being adopted. What journey are you taking your audiences on this time? Well,
interesting, because the last year was a kind of a, you know, and there were bits that were kind of semi-serious. It was about finding my birth mother and the whole thing. And then there's an obvious second chapter to that, because I found my birth mother the first time. So you can fill in the blanks of what I'm going to tell you the next time, right?
But was she alive?
Yeah, very much so.
Amazing.
Met her, you absolutely have a relationship with her and everything. Yes, fantastic. But
and this is generally somebody that you are related to.
Yeah,
you can put that to
that. So she hadn't tried to murder me or anything.
Not yet.
Not yet. But if the first show was a bit like the film Philomena, in the sense that it was kind of serious and dark and all that, the second show, this one, it's more like Elf. An unsuspecting man suddenly has a guy in a clown suit appear in his life going, hello. So that story is great. It's just a great yarn. So, like, as a comic, I've just been presented with 2 shows of an amazing story. So it's just I just tell them. Like, it's very easy.
Do you like that thing that audiences are kind of surprised that, you know, it is obviously it's a lot of fun, it's great comedy, but there's also that mix of sadness almost in there as well.
Yeah, it is. I mean, but you can bring it on. When they're in the theatre, you can do whatever you want with them. Once they're in the room, you can bring them anywhere. And also the payoff is that, like, the further you go into quiet, builds attention for when you eventually let that go. And so the laughs are bigger for having the time to let it go, and then boom at the end. So having that is really, really nice. Having the scope and knowing, look, I'm going to bring in a bit of a journey, but I know where this ends, so I know this is going to end funny. And this one is kind of a flip of that in some ways, but it's just, again, there's a kind of a thing you get when you start the story where you know, oh, look, I have you, and I know the rug I'm about to pull from under you, and it's so nice. I've only done it in short versions and Edinburgh versions. Wednesday it starts, and I get to start telling the full thing.
And you're starting in Dublin.
Yeah.
So, any more pressure because it's home turf?
No, do you know, it's the greatest room. There's a room called Vicar Street in Dublin, which is just a really chatty room, and so I always started there. Have the last whatever.
Because it looks great, like a cabaret sort of setting, doesn't it? With round tables.
People aren't sitting in that kind of formal thing, looking up like whatever.
How many people?
Oh, it's about 1,000 in the rooms.
wow.
Yeah. So and so I'll do like about 30, 40 days in that room, and so, but it's like it's a table with drinks in front of them. It's all very relaxed, so it means it's much more chatty and messy. And just feel into it. And then when you go and then do the later gigs in which people are sitting like that, the stuff is really bulletproof at that point. So
and look, you get to do some fantastic jobs as well. You've spoken about it before. You do your TV jobs around your hobbies.
Yes.
It's perfect. You've done talking about the moon. You've gone around the sun, the pyramids. Now the new doc. Tell me about this.
Yeah, volcanoes. Yes. I mean, it literally is. You just say, well, what would you, I'd like to kind of see some volcanoes, please. So we went to Italy and climbed a series of volcanoes. Went to Etna, went to Stromboli, which is the coolest because you go up and it's like a
Sicily, Etna.
Yeah, absolutely. And Stromboli's on an island which looks like every cartoon you've ever seen of a volcano rising out of the sea, and you climb up to the side of it, and it's just like an open tube that lava is just constantly shooting out of. Like, it's amazing. And then you go to Naples, which is glorious anyway, Naples, but sits between 2 volcanoes, either of which could explode, and when they do, it'll be a huge, like Vesuvius on one side, and a thing called Campo Flegrei, which is a super volcano which sits underneath a city of 1 million people, and when it goes, that'll be, but it may not go for hundreds and hundreds of years. But like, so we went and we talked to the people involved in it. There's nothing like, if you think Italians are passionate at the best of times, find an Italian volcanologist and bring them up.
A volcanologist? I just learned a new word.
Yeah, and they're all like,
do you like this? Like, a volcanologist.
Honestly, there's one woman going, I love volcanoes. And like, it's just beautiful in an Italian accent.
Now, we have to ask Dara, because you can see something amazing at the minute in the skies. This sort of 6-planet parade.
Yes, there is.
Now, tell us, best way to see it, when, what is it?
I actually don't know the peak time. It's like evening, from early evening on, like whatever. But if you imagine we sit across a disc, and the moon is part of that, and you'll see bright unflickering stars.
Because it's been going on for a little while.
They're
isn't
lining up. I mean,
it?
they're just there.
Yeah.
And sometimes they just the plane of it just happens to be just where we can see it, like whatever. So you'll see them and look like it appears they're in a line. They're obviously not. They're a long way away from each other.
of course.
But includes the brighter ones, which are Jupiter and Venus, which are always easy to see at the best of times.
Yes.
The advice I always give, independent of binoculars or telescopes or anything expensive, get the apps on your phone, of which there are millions, on which you can just download, and you can literally lift it up to the sky, and that will show you, oh, that dot is Mars, and that dot is Venus, and that dot is Jupiter. And it is a cool thing if you're in a beer garden, or like if you were your kids or with grandkids, to be able to casually go, you see that? That's Mars. And you can, it's all on the apps, he says, holding up an imaginary phone.
We got you, but that's fantastic.
Oh, yeah, and it's really easy to do, but they're all there, and it's a very easy thing to see, and it's quite cool.
Yeah, 100%. Well, look, you can see Dara on tour with Recreation from the 2nd of April. Tickets are on sale right now, and still to come, we'll be chatting